Dear students, we have reached the final session of our chapter. In this session, Peter Barry gives us 6 tenets of post-colonial methodology. He is enumerating it one by one based on the discussion that we had already made. So let us see. What post-colonial critics do? 1. They reject the claims to universalism. Underline, that is the main point. They reject the claims to universalism made on behalf of canonical Western literature and seek to show its limitations of outlook, especially its general inability to empathize across boundaries of cultural and ethnic difference. So this is the primary concern of the post-colonial methodology. First, they reject the claims to universalism. We have already explained it in our text, and here it is given as a point. For what they are rejecting universalism? Because they seek to show its limitations of outlook, especially its general inability to empathize across boundaries of cultural and ethnic difference. Universalism, it acknowledges Eurocentrism and thus it rejects cultural differences. So to expose that, first what the post-colonial critics do is rejecting universalism. Now we move on to the next point. Point number 2. They examine the representation of other cultures in literature as a way of achieving this end. They examine the representation of other cultures, underline, in literatures as a way of achieving this end. So they are closely watching the representation of the other in literatures. That is the second tenet of post-colonial methodology. Now we move on to the third tenet. They show how such literature is often evasively and crucially silent on matters concerned with colonization and imperialism. Underline, evasively and crucially silent. Post-colonial literatures or post-colonial criticism, they try to expose the silence in such literatures. How certain native cultures are getting silent in post-colonial literatures. This kind of criticism is trying to explore that. How such literature is often evasively and crucially silent. Evasively, it is given there in your glossary, trying to avoid. There won't be any reference to colonialism and imperialism in such texts. All those aspects will be made silent. And post-colonial criticism is trying to explore that. Now we are moving to the fourth point. They foreground questions of cultural difference and diversity and examine their treatment in relevant literary works. They foreground, they bring it in the forefront. They foreground questions of cultural difference and diversity and examine their treatment in relevant literary works. They try to bring to the forefront the diversity of cultures. The universal standardization of Eurocentrism is rejected and diversity of culture is brought. Now we move on to the fifth point. They celebrate hybridity and cultural polyvalency. That is, the situation whereby individuals and groups belong simultaneously to more than one culture. For instance, that of the colonizer through a colonial school system and that of the colonized through local and oral traditions. So this is the fifth methodology. The post-colonial critics, they try to celebrate hybridity. So there can be interconnections between the colonized and the colonizer. That interconnections are unavoidable, and thus the post-colonial critics celebrate hybridity and cultural polyvalency. Now we are moving to the last point, the sixth point. They develop a perspective not just applicable to post-colonial literatures, whereby states of marginality, plurality, and perceived otherness are seen as sources of energy and potential change. Underline, develop a perspective which leads to energy and potential change. Energy and potential change, the last line also underline. They develop a perspective not just applicable to post-colonial literatures, whereby states of marginality, plurality, and perceived otherness are seen as sources of energy and potential change. That means the post-colonial writers or the post-colonial critics, they try to make connections with other streams of criticism also. They are not limiting their exploration to post-colonialism only. They are going beyond that. And that will lead to more energizing conclusions, more potential conclusions. So these are the 6 major tenets put forward by Peter Barry as those of the post-colonial methodology. So the first one is rejecting the claims of universalism. Second one is examining the representation of the other. The third one is to project the evasively and crucially silent matters of colonialism and imperialism. The fourth one is foregrounding cultural difference. Fifth one is celebrating hybridity and polyvalency. And the sixth one is developing a different perspective of seeing otherness as sources of energy and potential change. So with this, I conclude the discussion of part A of module 5, that is the post-colonial paradigm. Thank you.